you know, rehash also, on this particular storage, what we were discussing. So I'm going to go to the uh, terminal again, like we have discussed, right? What we have seen some time back, we have added these two additional EBS volumes. So we already have noticed that this particular root volume that we have.
Excuse me, you're not sharing the screen, I
Oh,
think.
sorry. I think I keep making the same this thing. Okay, yeah. So what we have seen some time back, you have this. Uh, these two EBS volumes we added when we created the new EC2 instance. This root volume, which we have normally added in previous examples also, this root volume is mounted in your root directory. It is also / your root directory in the Linux operating system. Okay, so now what we are going to do, I have two additional volumes. Now the root volume is actually mapped to a root directory here. So now we will try to create, what we will do is we will try to create a new directory, a couple of new directories. These two new directories, in Linux terminology, we call them as file system. In Windows, we call that as a directory or folder. Here we call that as a file system. Okay, so first thing that we will do is we will actually, there is a command that we normally run. The command is file -s. Say there are two volumes, one is xvdb and another is xvdc. Okay, but they are under this particular path called dev is actually the path in which these volumes reside. So I am actually, when I say this and it just say data, this means that this particular volume does not have any data. It has zero data as of now. Okay, so what I am going to do, first thing is I am going to create a file system. Okay, so there is a command for this. This file system basically, when I execute this command, what this command is going to make sure is this, I will be able to create a file system on this particular volume. That is what I will do it, and that is what is this particular command is going to make sure. Okay, so now what it has really done, it has really, as you can really see, it has taken that volume, converted that volume into a file system. There is a file system which is a kind of a management layer that has been installed on this particular volume. So this volume is right now ready to be consumed by the operating system for some kind of a directory creation. Now what I am going to do, I am going to create, let me create one directory. For doing this particular directory, I have to really say make directory is one command, and I will just say folder one. I can create anything. So I am just saying folder one. So now I do ls-l, you will see folder one here. Folder one, this directory is created. But this is a directory, because if I just run my df-h command again, you won't see folder one. As you see, you don't see folder one as a kind of a file system now. That file system does not exist. In order to do that, you need to perform one particular action, that is mount. Mount is basically what it does is it is going to map this particular volume that I have, that is the volume, against this particular folder, which is a directory. So what I need to do is I am actually going to mount this volume on this folder. Now what I do is I do df-h. You see folder one is created. This folder one is done against that xvdb. So the 10 gigabyte of elastic block storage that I have taken that particular 10 gigabyte of storage and I created a folder out of it. So as an end user, now I can consume it. So hopefully now you understand how the back end to front end I am able to really connect. Is it clear right now? Because this is what the end-to-end concept. What I have really showed you here in this particular diagram, I have actually in a lab demonstrated how it happens end to end. Hope it makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah,
This is
I
what
got.
we have done right now. In a Linux environment, what we have done is there is a disk. We have taken a 10 GB in one particular server. Instead of C drive, we have really given a kind of a folder here, and we have created 10 gigabyte. Okay, so if I have to really say, in our lab example, I would say lab example, folder one, 10 GB we created, right? That is what we have done. So this is the EBS, the SAN equivalent, correct? That's what we have done. So now we can do the same thing for the 12 gig volume also. So you will have two folders. Let's we can try that also. Maybe one of the ways to do that is yeah, we can do that. See, there is something else that we can also do. Maybe that we can really do as a kind of a practical example. I have really done this. So maybe Tangam, one thing that we can try, what we can try is, you have created one server, right? In that server itself, we can actually add one volume and then mount that volume. So why don't we really try that? You can share your screen. I will guide you through that, guide you through the steps. So in the storage lab today, at least we have already gone over 1 hour. So the next thing, second part of storage is we will really look into file and blocks, file and object storage, maybe in our next class or next session. In this session, we probably, since I have really shown this, to make the learning process a little bit more effective and also easier, you can try this yourself. I will guide you through the steps. But I think we are going to do it a little differently. What we are going to do is, we are not going to do a new server. We will actually use an existing server, and in that existing server itself, we'll try to create this. Then you can really see how it works.
Okay.
Okay. So you share your screen. I will tell you like what you can do in the existing server.
Can you please enable the sharing?
Okay. So this is a new session, right? Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Okay. So சின்ன message பண்ணியா? I added to the group also. Okay, no problem.
So I need to edit the settings for this EC2.
Yeah, that is what I will tell you how you can do that. Okay.
Okay.
So what you can do, just go to storage, this storage tab. Now here, yeah, storage tab. So you see this EBS. Scroll down. Okay, keep scrolling. Block devices. So it doesn't give an option here. Okay, let me see how you can then. One second. Okay. Can you scroll down? Can you go to the left side? Your EC2 dashboard is there, right? You see there is a scroll bar near that. You see there is a scroll bar. Yeah, just to scroll it down. Okay. Elastic Block Store. Just go to volumes. That Elastic Block Store volumes. Select volumes. Okay. Now what you can do is go to action, create volume. Just say create volume. You can do. You can create a volume. Yeah. Now let's do one thing. See, here we are going to do, because already an existing EC2 server is there. So what we will need to do is, we need to create a volume. So we'll create a 10 gig volume. So size, you make it 10 gig, 10 GB, right? 10, yeah, make it 10. Yeah, then it can be on US East 1A itself. Snapshot ID and all not needed. It can be general purpose. Okay, come down. Yeah, See, one thing is we can, it is always better to add a tag also. So just say add tag, just say name, just to say that my test EBS1, yeah, name, yeah, oh, no, name, key is name only, value, yeah, value, you can say my test EBS1. Just to say create volume, yeah, create volume. Okay, close it. Now go to the same thing. Okay, just select the second. So now it is available. It says it is available. It is not in use, right? The first one volume name somehow is not getting displayed. Okay, that's fine. Oh, you have to say that. Okay, yeah. Select the first one. That is what is the 10 GB volume. Go to actions in the top. Attach volume. Attach volume. Okay, instance, go to instance, select instance ID, no matching instances. Oh, somehow, oh, it is in US East 1A. Okay, that is the problem. Cancel. Okay, go to your, go to the left side, go to the top and select instances. Yeah, just click on instances and just click on that just instance ID. Okay, availability zone, it says US East 1E, I think. See, this is probably maybe a learning process for me also. I have not done that before. So can you just go and let's see, go to that, click on instances. Yeah. See, availability zone, it says US East 1E. Okay, so can you go to your Elastic Block Store volumes again? No, go to the left side, that Elastic Block Store volumes. Yeah. First, let us delete this, okay? Because we have to create it. We probably may need to create it in our US East 1E. So let us actually go to actions, delete volume. Yeah. Now we will recreate it. Okay. Create volume again. Yeah. Create volume and just make it 10 GB. Yeah. Availability zone, choose EST East, US East 1E. Yeah. 1E itself.
1E?
Yeah. 1E. Yeah. Keep coming down. Yeah, now no, add tag and keep the name capital N A M E, yeah, because I think that it is probably looking for that name. Yeah, and the value you can say my first EBS1, my test EBS1. Yes, that's right. Yeah, create volume. Yeah, close. Now it sees, see, when we really give the proper name, it really comes as much simply as okay. Let it create. I think it is still creating, so let it create. I think is the refresh button. Sometimes go to that refresh. See, go in the top on the right hand side, top right corner. You see one. No, scroll down a little bit. You see one near that settings, left side of that settings icon. Here, you come down. Okay. Now it is created. You go and select the this thing. Select that my test EBS1. Yeah, my test EBS1. Now go to actions, attach instance, attach volume. Okay, now you select, go to that instance tag. Yeah, go to this. Yeah, you have that. It comes, right? Because it's in that region. So now device SDF, it says, correct. So so SDF is what, so you can keep it there. Now you say attach.
Okay.
Now, if you go to that EC2 instance, it should, okay, let it complete first. it let it complete attaching. After that, if you go to that EC2 instance, you should be able to see your volume mapped to that device. Okay,
Okay.
so let's wait. Okay, now you go to that instances. Yeah, now you can select that instance ID. Yeah. Okay, so you come down and okay, so now go to the storage tab. So now you see two EBS
Yeah.
volume, right? So it is attached. Now you
Mm.
go to your PowerShell window. Okay, so you have this, correct? So
Mm.
when you last time executed it, you are seeing only the root block. Do that ls block again. You should see the new volume. Okay, so now you see the new 10 gig, right? So now
Yeah.
go and execute the same commands. So first command that you have to execute, I will tell you what are all the commands you need to execute. So first command that you need to execute is uh, just to say file minus s, file space minus s space slash dev slash xvdf. Here you have xvdf. Yeah. So you should see just yeah, press enter. You should see this only. So which means that this is empty. Okay. So the next command that you need to execute is we are going to do a create a file system. So you need to really, I will just even type
MKFS.
in chat window. So we are going to make a file system. I'm just going to create this is the command that you need to execute. mkfs minus t. So this is basically, we are creating a file system on this volume. That is what we are doing.
Okay.
Okay. So the file system is created now. Okay. So now what you can do. So the next thing is we are going to make
Directory.
directory. But before that, let us actually see that, we see the entire process. Just type df dash h here, because that will actually list you all the volumes and directories. Yeah. So as you see, you still have only the root volume or the root in your root directory. Your root volume only it is listing. Okay. So now what you yeah, now what you can do, we will create a directory. So you just say mkdir space slash give whatever folder name you want to give. It's up to you. You can you can just say you're saying FOL1. Yeah, that's also fine. Yeah, just enter. Okay. So now you do ls-l. You should see that folder. Okay, ls-l. Maybe you just give one ls-l because I think that you still see the folder, but I think that ls-l has to really give a different format. Oh, okay, space dash l. ls space dash l. Yeah. So it should show. It will show with all these this thing. Okay. So you see
Okay.
that FOL1 behind etc. Fourth or fifth from the top, right?
Yeah, DV1.
Yeah,
Yes,
below
sir.
etc you see that, right? Now what you can do is now do df dash h again. I don't think you will see that as a file system as yet. Like I said, df dash h, it is not a file system yet. Now we are going to really do the mounting. This mounting is the process that will create your file system. So mount is something that you need to do it like this. Okay, mount space uh, dev slash that xvdf, right? Xvdf
DF.
space, no space, no space you need to be, yeah, space
DB or DF?
df only, I think, space /FOL1. Yeah. Now you can press enter. Yeah. Now do df-h again.
Mount.
No, df-h again. Mount is done now.
Okay.
It doesn't give any output. You just need to verify that.
Okay.
So you have that, right? FOL1. So you created that.
Mounted on this one. Okay.
Yeah, the last line item. So now this is a new directory. FOL1 is a new directory. So it is something like in Windows by default you had only C drive. Now you created a D drive with another external storage, because currently in our computer we have C drive, means it is only our computer's drive. Now I connected my computer to an external drive. So something like that, your elastic block storage is external drive. So
So
similar
that
to that, how much ever storage you want to buy, you can buy and attach. You can create new directories. Okay, you can do all that. So basically, that is what is EBS is all about. I think since we have some more time, what I will do is I will actually take a quick introduction into another type of file system, which is S3. Actually, EFS is something that we can actually spend time because that lab can be a little bit longer. But here, I think in this particular lab, now we understand about the EBS volume, correct? When you have an EBS volume, how you can really take that EBS volume, how you can add it to your server, and how you can really make use of that, to create new directories. How you can basically use a block storage is something that I have actually the concept. I also have shown in practical lab also, both the things.
okay.
You understand the concept, I believe.
Yeah. So the size at 10 GB is allocated for this folder, right?
Correct. It
Okay.
may show 9.8 GB because there is 0.2 GB. It probably can take it for some file system management. It may take some, what's that?
The point to something.
Yeah, 0.2 gig. But that you see 9.8 gigabyte, correct?
Yeah.
It is there. See, it also says something like how much it is used, how much is available. 37 MB available, 9.2 gigabyte. It says. Okay. Uh, because within that 9.8 gig also, it may have some more um, uh, additional space. It will reserve it for its own internal use. Okay, so even though you may have 10 gig, you will probably have only 9 gig or something for actual use. So now if you want to really upload any kind of file, say for example, if I have a server like this, right? If I really want to upload, whatever data that I have, as an example, now I have what is that? I have this particular session recording. The session recording can be something like a 9.2 GB the video file. I want to store this video file in the server. I can just upload then this particular 10 gigabyte file. 10 gigabyte storage is something that I can consume without any problem.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean, right?
Oh, right.
But this is, I would really say that rather than this particular thing, maybe what might be helpful is if I really have, an S3 bucket. And S3 is something like, in AWS, I can even use it for, my own purpose, because S3 is one particular area where I can really, store something which is more like a static data, which I probably may not reference for a very, very long time. I can really store it in S3 bucket. So that I will really cover in this part of the lab. You can stop sharing the screen, so I will show like how S3 storage works. Then you think you can really understand about that particular part also. Okay, so I will go here, and I'm going to share my screen now, so don't forget that part. So I have, okay, so I'm sharing my screen, and I am clicking here to AWS instance details. So this is my AWS account. So I am going and searching for this S3. Okay, so S3 is the other type of storage. S3 is the object storage. Okay.
Okay.
So right now, as you see, I don't have any buckets that are created. correct? So S3 they call what they call as a kind of a bucket. So object storage means, I can really go and create any object here, any kind of an object, in this particular S3 bucket I can create. That is what it is all about. So as an example, I'm just going to create a very, very simple bucket. So I really say that, okay, here something like my first, S3 bucket. Okay. So here the region, any region you can choose. So I am actually choosing that North Virginia, which is closer here. So see, by default, any S3 bucket here we will really take one particular use case. I can really use this particular S3 bucket also. Here I can really host a static website. You would have really seen that Hello World example. That similar Hello World example or Hello World static website. We can even create it using S3 bucket itself. So I will try to really run that particular use case also. Okay, so initially I am not really going to really change any of the default settings. Okay, I'm just going to really add a tag to this S3. So I'm saying that I'm creating a name. I'm saying that my uh, my S3, I would really say that static website. Okay, something of that sort. Okay, so that's the tag that I am creating, and I'm just creating this particular bucket without any additional this thing. Bucket name must not contain uppercase characters. Okay, bucket with the same name already exists. See, one thing what Amazon does is Amazon will make it. S3 bucket has one particular unique issue. This S3 bucket name that we are selecting here, somebody else in some other account might have created a bucket with the same name. Then in that case, it's not going to allow us to take it. So we need to probably look at some unique way of creating. So I'm saying my first S3 bucket, I can really try to even give, it will say it cannot really have any this thing. So I would say Jan 3, 2021. Okay, so it has now taken accepted that name. Okay, so now I try to go and create the bucket. It should create it without any problem. So that bucket is created, that bucket is available. Okay, so now I'm going and taking this S3 bucket. So this S3 bucket also, it will really have some properties. There is a resource name that comes access points. So currently there is this particular S3 bucket does not have any data. So now what I can really do in this particular S3 bucket, I can really add or upload any object. So let me try to find out like what I can really add into this bucket. See, as an example, I have this particular thing, prep notes for the training materials. Okay, or there is a PDF file there. So this PDF file is something that I can add to the S3 bucket. So this is one PDF file. Okay, so I'm going to add this PDF file into this S3 bucket. So I am uploading it. I am adding files. The only one thing that I will really say that is, we need to be careful of also, again, S3 bucket usage, there will be cost associated. So any upload that we do, that upload is something, all uploads, any amount of data that you upload on an S3 bucket, there is no charge. They are not really going to charge anything. Okay, so uh, okay, again, I think it is going to hit a 40-minute limit. Okay, so I'm going to upload. So now it uploaded. Okay, so there is one bucket that is there right now. So here, this particular PDF file is there. So this is already uploaded here. So I see it here. See, there is a URL that it gives. Okay, S3 URL.
Mhm.
So now I copied this URL. I go here. I try to go here, for this particular URL. Okay, so this is only going like a search. Okay, oh, object URL. This is the one that I have to take. Okay, I have this URL, right?
Mhm.
Now if I try to select, chase this URL, it rotates. Access denied. I'm not really able to allow, get it, because we have seen initially when we really created this S3 object, they had something called public access. Whether it is really allowed for public access, it is not allowed for a public access. I only will be able to really go and read it only, by myself. If I have to allow public access, that's also possible. I need to I need to give permission. So it says that block public access. So I'm going to go and really edit. It really says that block public access. I'm going to edit this setting. Okay. So I am unblocking it. Okay. So I'm not really giving anything. Public access is granted to buckets and objects through access control lists, bucket policies, access point policies are all, in order to ensure that public access to, you need to block it. But if you unblock it, then in that case, it will really say that confirm. So because I think that, it will really say that, okay, are you really going to allow public access? So I confirmed it. Now I will really go and check whether it can really give me access. Now I need to go back and check whether okay, so let me see objects here. I go here, properties. So this is the object URL. So I go here and try to do this. Maybe there is one more action that I need to perform. What we need to do is we also need to give a kind of a bucket access policy. That is another thing that we need to create. So I have to go and make this particular object that I have created here. How am I going to really give permission, for this particular access, this thing. Say as an example, object owner has the access, all access, read access, correct? But other people don't have it. So I'm just going to really do something like this, read access I'm going to enable for public, everyone. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone in the world can access the object. It says I understand the effects of these changes, because this is a kind of a standard this thing. So I am actually giving that particular access now. Okay, now this access is given. Let's try to access that URL again. So now I am able to read the file.
Okay.
That's it.
Mm.
Okay, so this is something like, as an example, somebody, it's a very low cost way of doing, say for example, sometime back we learned certain techniques. Whatever techniques that we have learned as, so far, you can use this technique and create a very low cost website solution also. Because say for example, if I really want to have a kind of a static website that really have basically ability to users, where they can really come and read some materials that I create. I want to really host a very small website. That website can be hosted in in an S3 bucket with public permissions, that I really upload some content and somebody else really wants to really view that. I can really create a kind of a very simple static website in an AWS account. But what we need to be cognizant of, again, going and really look at how much is free, how much is chargeable, right? So if I really go and really look at S3, for S3 they will really have a kind of a limit, 5 GB of standard storage, okay, and there will be something like 2000 get requests to the 2000 put requests. So this get request 2000 20,000 get requests, this much is basically is the free tier limit, that too for the 12 months. After that they will really have a kind of a charge. So any number of things that you have, how much ever storage that you have, they are really going to charge for that particular storage, right? So cloud means we also can really take educated good use of that particular cloud, and you really store some really smart solutions and other things. Like I am saying that previously, if somebody wants to start a business, they probably may need to do a lot of investment. Right now, what I have really demonstrated to you, if the same S3 that we created as an URL, if that probably can be hosted in a kind of a public website, I just need to do a little bit more steps only to really make sure that I create my own website, and in that particular website, in the back end I really access this particular thing. I can really create my own website. I can really publish any content that I want. I can really start any kind of a business or a self-run business, in a lot quicker manner when you use cloud. That is what cloud enables, basically. Hope you understand the concept that I'm trying
Yeah.
to talk about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. So that's what is S3 in a nutshell. So since, like, again, like I told, the best practice, the session is done. So I will actually right now go and delete this particular S3 that I created. Then so that you saw how we went and really created permissions and other things, right? So I will just go to S3. um, I have my S3 buckets, and I'm taking this bucket and I will be deleting this bucket.
Okay.
Oh, first I need to delete everything in the bucket, it seems. Oh, okay. Empty bucket configuration, permanently delete. Yeah. Empty. So it deleted this object. Okay. So now I will delete the bucket. Okay. So it asks me. So this is one thing, because Amazon want to make sure that when you are doing an action, you are doing it consciously, right? It's not
For
that
del- so for
otherwise.
deleting,
Yeah. So
for
I tell you.
deleting,
Yeah.
for deleting something, you need to give the name for the deleting file.
Yeah. See, this is
Uh,
something why they are doing it is sometimes people by mistake can delete something, right? In companies, if people really do work and somebody asks them to really do some work, and that work, they assign a work saying that go and delete this particular SD bucket. You can really, the concept. You just get a kind of a request, somebody will raise what they call as a ticket, and they go and really say that, okay, somebody asked me to really delete a S3 bucket, and I have administrative permission. I take
okay.
that particular bucket name, go and delete it, then it will get deleted. If it is not the right bucket to delete, you will have problem. That is why it is really forcing you to really type it and say that, okay, I am going to really delete it. So I'm going to type it and say that, okay, I have to give that particular name also. So then only it will allow you to delete. It is basically adding one step where you are consciously doing it. You are not unconsciously doing it. Correct?
That name will be your proof for deleting your file.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Correct. Exactly. Okay. So
Okay.
now we learned about this S3 bucket. How we have really seen that we really uploaded a file. We have seen that file from internet. We have all seen that. Okay. So S3 is basically, that is what it is, an object storage. Like how you have seen NAS, here you have not done anything, because when we really went and really like I have mentioned,